favorite part about yoga, you have a baseline where you think you are, even in flexibility or strength, and you keep going over years and you can actually see a difference and you have like a new notch in your belt. It's like a new baseline. You just level up to a point that you could not get before. And I think standing bow is my favorite posture because you can see it most evidently with that. And I feel like I'm in a new layer, like a new notch in my belt with standing bow.
We're driving cars on a Mars tonight. We're blasting off to the stars tonight. We wanna go.
I have been teaching since January. Earlier on, I taught 2 classes a week. Now I only teach 1 class a week. They pay us $21, and actually my first 2 paychecks, the biggest amount of paychecks because I was teaching the most and training, they sent to my old address in LA that I haven't lived in since 2019. So I didn't even get paid for like the first 4 weeks that I taught. I'm only really going into like my average Sunday of teaching. There's so much more to yoga and so many more videos that I would want to make. With all that being said, here's just a little day in my life being a yoga instructor in New York City. All right now I am on my way to go meet Shervin, who was actually the first person who kind of got me into thinking that I should teach yoga in New York. Okay, hello. This is Shervin.
Hello.
Shervin, you were actually the person who inspired me to start teaching yoga in New York. So thank you for inspiring me to teach.
No, I'm glad you're doing it. Inspiring more people hopefully to teach too.
With that, I thought you'd be the perfect person to ask like all these questions that I've been getting. Well, actually first, like how long have you been teaching?
About 4 or 5 years-ish.
How did you get into yoga?
The same way that most people do. It's like something happens in your life and you're like trying to crave change and like something that's like positive. And that's when I was like, oh, I've heard yoga is good for you. So then I decided, all right, I'm gonna try it out, and I went to a class at a physical studio. Then the rest is history.
That's interesting because I feel like I just stumbled upon like yoga because the studio opened up in front of my house, and then I started going and I was like, oh wow, this like actually has like a huge impact when I'm like needing that. It's like the most nurturing environment for me. I have something to go to now, you know, whereas before I didn't. What are the biggest qualms people have about getting into yoga, or their biggest fears that you've heard?
The number one thing I hear is, I'm not flexible enough to do yoga.
Yeah, I get that all the time.
And this is my favorite response.
Okay.
I didn't tell you this.
Okay, I'm excited.
But if someone's like, I'm not flexible enough to do yoga, I tell them, do you wait to get clean to take a shower, or do you shower to get clean? And it's the same thing with yoga. Yes, there's a lot of facets to it, but if you're trying to get a little more flexible, you would go to a yoga practice to help with that.
Bro, I love that response. The next thing is people are always very scared to go to yoga, especially for men. What advice would you have?
It is intimidating, especially as a man, because you go into a yoga class and in the US, they're majority female. So like that in itself is kind of scary. You think everyone's looking at you, but no one's looking at you at all.
Yeah.
I think it's like a beginner's mindset, right? Anytime you try something new, it's gonna be scary, and there's like an initial challenging hump. But you just show up, go to a place where you know it'll be comfortable, and they'll like guide you and accept you, and like after that, you'll learn it quickly. You don't have to know what to do.
It can be intimidating walking into a studio, especially like some studios, like depending on the
vibe.
Yeah, and there's like a certain look that I think some studios try to achieve, or aesthetic. So those can be like honestly intimidating, but everyone makes like the experience about themselves.
100%, like everyone is always focused on themselves. It's not just in yoga, right? But what I do tell new students sometimes is like pick a spot in the middle of the class, so that way like you can get an idea of what posture you're supposed to be doing, and if you're in like different angles, like you're looking back or looking forward, there's always someone at really some edge that like is doing a posture, and you can just like visually see that and be like, oh, I need to do warrior 2. Like, this is how it looks.
That's great advice, honestly. What advice do you have for me to take the pressure off?
Silence is golden. Like literally practicing not talking. Like that's hard, right? You're quote unquote leading a class. Like that can be extremely hard, and every second feels like an hour.
Wow.
But literally like you don't have to say something all the time.
That's really good advice, even for like life.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much.
Thank you.
I think that's it. Before every class, I like to go over either my music or my notes from teacher training, because I only teach 1 class a week. I actually often have dreams. I will be teaching class and like literally am just unprepared and like forget all of the rest of the class. I think that's just me telling myself that I need to like constantly keep updated, and I need to review before I go to put in my full effort. I'm not sure that my end goal is to be a yoga teacher, even though it has been like such a privilege to be able to do my teacher training and teach yoga. I love yoga so much. I always tell people about it and how it's positively impacted my life. I just love it so much and research it on my own that I'm like, I know that I wouldn't be a horrible teacher because I actually genuinely care, and I genuinely care about you know, people having a good experience. That was my motivation for teaching yoga, and I wanted to deepen my own practice, and just teaching anything is such an important role. I'm gonna keep reviewing, and then I'm gonna try to head to the studio early so that I can vlog. I was trying to get to yoga early so I could vlog. I was on my way, realized I forgot my watch. Makes it way harder to teach without the watch. So I came back, put my running shoes on, and now I'm going to run to yoga. Nice little warm up. Okay, I made it on time to yoga. I am in the heated studio, and I'm now going to set up. This is a candlelit class. I'm sweating. That was a good warm up and a great way to get the little pre-class jitters out of my system. Oh, maybe I should tell people to just like take a candle and place it in front of them and take it away. It's more interactive and they can put it wherever they want. This is our hottest class, and it's based on Bikram yoga, which is a series of set postures, so it's the same every single time. Candlelit is supposed to be very relaxing. And, yeah. I finished my class. I think this was literally my best class that I've ever had. It was a completely full class. The energy was just like really great. The breath was really great. My intention was just silence. I told them all that I had met up with one of my favorite instructors, and he told me that a lot of good teaching is just about being silent. So that was my intention. And I tried to like make space to just be silent, and it was definitely hard. Sometimes you just want to overtalk or explain, or you feel uncomfortable in the silence, but it was a great intention. So now I'm just cleaning everything up, and also the idea to have people distribute their own candles and then take them back. I feel like I'm finally finding my groove in teaching. That's getting better. All right, time to go home.